call this meeting, City Council to order, February 18th, 2020. I have two additions to the agenda, a 5-minute executive session under attorney and a 10-minute executive session under police department. Are there any other additions to the agenda? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
I was just going to say, those executive sessions are both non-elected personnel, I believe,
Yes.
Yes.
for the camera.
Okay.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, moving on to citizens' comments. Jen.
Okay, I think you all know me. My name's Jan Stottleman. I live on West 3rd, and I'm here to talk turkey. Specifically, 6 turkeys that have been in my yard since 2 weeks before Thanksgiving. So it's been a long time. I've called the game warden. He said if I could find 2 people that had turkey licenses, we could shoot 2 of them. Nobody's willing to do that because I don't want to be known as the turkey killer. Okay? I've also talked to people, and they said what you could do is poison some corn and kill them. And I'm very seriously thinking about that because they pulled what their poop hasn't killed, they've pulled out my yard. And right now, I don't, when I talk to the game warden, he just says, oh, eventually they'll leave. Okay, they've been here over 6 weeks. I don't know how long eventually is. Okay, we had the fire department come, and what they brought wouldn't spray taller than I am. Okay, so that didn't work. They don't like water. I can throw tennis balls at them. I blow a whistle and I pump my umbrella and I can chase them away, but they keep coming back, okay? I've done everything I know how to do. When I asked the warden, he does not have any nets. He does not have any traps. He can't suggest anything that I can do. When we did the police horn, all it did was chase them up into the trees, which did not help. You have to get them before they roost. And so tonight, when I came home from Great Bend here, they were up in the tree, but they weren't asleep yet because they go kind of into a hibernation mode. So once they're in the tree, you can't do anything about it if they're asleep, okay? So I got my whistle out, I got my umbrella out, I ran around the tree for 10 minutes, and finally they flew away. And everybody thinks it's so funny. But you know what? If it was in your yard and they did 4 whole lots and pulled out all the grass, then you wouldn't like it either. So, I mean, what I could do is I could send the city a bill for having new grass planted and then go ahead and kill them and then charge you to have them hauled off. So I need something done, and I'm sick and tired of it. They're annoying, they're disgusting. Yeah, for maybe the first 2 or 3 days, yeah, they're a novelty and everybody thinks they're horrific, and they want to keep them. The people next to me were feeding them, so I finally got them to quit feeding them so they wouldn't come back. I chased them away for 2 weeks, now they're back again. I don't know what else to do. The only thing I know that I've found that might work is if you get 55-gallon barrels, you turn them over so that you put corn on the top, and you do that for 3 or 4 days so they know it's always there. Then on the 4th or 5th day, you turn them over, the corn goes inside, they fly inside, they can't get back out. Then you guys come and you haul them off. But I don't think that should be my job, but I don't know what else to do. I'm up to here with turkeys.
John, Chief, have any thoughts, suggestions, ideas?
I don't know what, I mean,
I've had
get it.
plenty of people say that
Yeah.
they'd shoot them for me, but that's illegal in the city limits.
Right, I get it, and, we've gone over city ordinance on discharging of a firearm in town. We've called and waited for the game warden to show up.
It's always after dark, and
And
they've already
he's-
roosted, and they can't do anything.
Yeah, he's, we've asked him, hey, can you bring nets, can you do something? And we don't get anywhere with it either. We had talked about killing, but then it was,
It had to
some
be-
people said, well, they had rifles. Well, it was bow season.
Yeah, so we had to
really
do,
didn't want to be chancing somebody shooting a bow up into the air and then it missing them and going flying. It's just a mess. I don't know. I'll do some more checking with Fish and Game I'll try to get a hold of the feds, Fish and Game, and see if we can get anything done that way. But we're not getting anywhere with the local Fish and Game.
Yeah.
I don't know an answer to it either. I don't know. We called the fire trucks out that night. We tried to shoo them out with a water hose, but it wouldn't get
go
quite
high
high enough to get enough pressure to knock them out of the trees. You know, I mean, we've tried. We were out there for quite a while that night, and
Yeah,
I just don't know, because the Fish and Game wise, you know, we can't, if they're not in season, and that's why we've been looking at policies and stuff. If they're not in season, then we
Yeah.
can't kill them.
and bow and arrow is
Used to be
from
able to take
like
them out if they were a nuisance.
If
December
they
the
were a
17th.
nuisance, yes, and I can't remember because I pulled the city code book out on that. But then talking with Fish and Game, they're saying that we can't because it wasn't within season. And I tried to pull up the nuisance deal also. So I'll do some more digging. I'll try to figure it
The
out.
old Fish and Game warden would let you do it.
Right. Well, I'm trying to keep everybody in a job.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and out of
I
jail,
know.
but.
Yeah.
I'll do some more checking, and I'll see if I can get a hold of the feds and see if they're game warden, if we can't get anywhere with that. Just let them know where we're at. I mean, I get it. I know it's frustrating, and it's frustrating for us because when we call Fish and Game, we're not
Yeah,
getting.
I don't get anything.
Not
And
getting
see,
anything done.
he kept telling me in November, well, we can't do anything until December the 17th. That's when turkey season starts. So then I even asked different hunters. I bet I've called 6 or 7 guys around town, even the people that have hunters come in and stay. I said, I would buy the turkey license, which is $23, if they would just come and do 2 of them. And I mean, it'd be easy pickings. They're down on the ground before they fly up in the tree, and you just wham! You can get within 4 feet of them. That's how domesticated they are.
Yep, wow.
And they've been here since the middle of November. And see, we've had turkeys in town before on the east side, and I don't know how you guys got rid of them then, but they weren't here very long. But now these have been here almost 3 months. That's ridiculous.
John, any thoughts as far as ordinances?
Well, I mean, I don't take this the wrong way at all. I had an armadillo problem that tore up my yard, and it was several days in a row, and it was several summers in a row. But as far as in most instances, you're going to find the city's going to say it's a pest problem, and it's not the city's problem. It's not the city's responsibility. In Pratt, what they would do is they would drop off a trap, and they would tell you how to use it, and then it would be your responsibility to do whatever with it once you caught it.
Okay.
Which usually involved taking it out to the county and let it go.
Right. Well, I talked to the sheriff's office, and the guy that I talked to, he works for the SWAT team down in Pratt, and he had talked to them about some traps. But then something about between your city and their city, and we couldn't do that, and so I'm just going, okay, I'm at a loss here.
Yeah, I don't know what a turkey.
I mean, one of the turkeys is probably this tall and this big. It's huge.
It's usually fox, raccoon, and armadillo
Yeah.
in Pratt.
Well, I sympathize with your plight, Jan. But let's let the chief do a little bit more investigating and checking in on it, and then we'll see what we can do from
Okay,
there.
so what's the timeline on this? Am I to give you a week? Am I to give you 10 days?
I'm hoping I'll have an answer by the end of the week. It's Wednesday, so hopefully maybe by Monday. Monday
Okay.
I'll have something. And I'm looking right now. I'm reading the nuisance animal activities prohibited.
Yeah, that's just going to be about animals owned privately.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Pets
Yeah.
where you can trace them back to a specific owner.
And that's what so.
I mean, these are wild animals. These are not domesticated pets.
Right.
So,
You know, the other option is, and I wouldn't know anything about it, but I'm assuming there's like an animal removal company in Great Bend, or
I've already called.
and what
Nope.
did they say?
I've checked everybody I know how
But
to
did they
check.
give you any advice on
Nope,
getting
he
rid
just
of them
says,
and-
not our problem. I called the Humane Society. I said, do you have any traps I can borrow? Not our problem. You don't live in our city.
Okay, let's give,
I'll do some digging. I'll do some digging.
let's give Chief up until Monday, maybe he'll have an answer by then. Hopefully, we can get some relief for you, okay?
Okay, well, at least you know where I live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and while they're going through this stuff that I don't have to pay attention to, I'm gonna do some more looking again, like I did out there at your house. But
Okay.
I'll hopefully have something by Monday. But I'll get a hold of the feds instead of the state and
Yeah.
see if they can even show up.
Well,
with,
I even, the
That's
game
what-
warden, I said, okay, so in Kansas, there's nobody in your network you can contact to get traps or anything? And he goes, we don't do anything like that. I was not very impressed with him, I'll just say that.
Okay.
When it's a fur-bearing animal, if it's, you know, if it's your property that's in danger, you don't need a fur license to shoot it. I don't know
No.
why, if it's damage to property, why you can't.
Because it's in the city limits. That's why I came to the city.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of one of those things, if the officer doesn't write you up, I don't know about
Put
it.
it to
It
sleep.
doesn't get filed in municipal court. I mean, he's got the discretion, I mean,
Right.
at the same time, he's gotta be careful about discharging a firearm.
Right, and
Too.
see, that night, we did that. Because we thought that would work, but they'd already roosted,
Yeah, we
so
had
it didn't.
fired a shotgun up in the air.
Yeah, we went to all the houses,
And
let them know,
Beanbag.
game warden was there. Well, we didn't fire it out. We didn't fire at him. I mean,
in the air.
we shot up towards the field in the air, and everything else ran in the entire 6-block area, but not them.
Yeah.
I mean, they just set it.
Even when I go out with my whistle,
That's
you
when we
know,
call the fire
all the
department.
dogs are going nuts, you know, but, yeah, the turkeys.
Okay, well, hopefully I'll have an answer for you by Monday.
Okay,
All
all
right.
right.
Okay, well, moving on to consent agenda. Approved minutes, regular council meeting, February 4th, 2020. Can I get a motion? I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Appropriation ordinance 12-31-219-3 in the amount of $8,473.34 and 2-18-2020 in the amount of $20,361.11. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. All right. Moving on to department heads. Jeff?
Well, I really don't have a lot. Since we're minus a street and park supervisor, well, I've kind of been doubling over and doing some stuff there, and we've had some issues with some trucks we've had to work on and some of that stuff, so. But, all the signs are done. The others have all been stacked and put away to be for sale or whatever the case might be. And, we've even, disposed of the concrete that was left on the post that we pulled and that stuff, so that's taken care of. Eventually, we're gonna get back to trimming trees, I hope. We've had some dump truck problems that we've been working on, some other stuff, but hopefully in the next few days, we'll get back to trimming trees, so. Anyway, that's really all I have, so.
Okay. Anybody have any questions for Jeff?
The time frame on that sewer pump's on track, or has Jason?
What did he say, 10 or 12 weeks,
Right, I
I
mean,
believe, and then Jason
we
had
got
to leave
on it right
tonight,
away.
he's got a father-in-law that's about, or a stepdad about to pass away, so
Okay.
they called him home this evening, so he's not here,
But we
but
think
as far
we're
as
on
I
track.
know, I think we're on track, yeah, we're trying to get some stuff put together for the weir box and the bar screen, the stuff in front of it and that. I made a little trip to KBK late last week to see if they would build us a bar screen box that we could slide down in. And they should be sending me back some blueprints and kind of a cost of what it'll take to do it. It's either that or we're gonna end up forming it like you would a basement and
Right.
pouring the walls and stuff. So I was trying to keep from having to do all that, and then we don't have the strain of moisture on the concrete cracking and that stuff. This would be fiberglass, so. Anyway, I haven't heard anything back from them, whether they would accept it or not, but they haven't turned me down, so I'm guessing I'll see something here in the next little bit, so.
Right.
Anyway, but that's
I
kind
was
of
just
where we're
curious.
at. So,
Okay.
Tell those guys, appreciate you knocking that house down, or
Yeah.
cleaning it all out, getting right on that, so.
yeah,
A lot
well,
of good things about that.
you know, Darren told us not to bring any more for a little while. He took 5 that week, and I think he was kind of full up. He took 2 from Stafford, 1 from Hudson, and
Wow.
1 from somewhere else and us, so he'd had his fill. Because he has to cover them with so many, I don't know whether it's cubic yards or whatever it is, or how they rate that, but he said, I need to get covered up what's been hauled out here, so. Yeah. it wasn't, you know, it didn't turn out to be that bad of a deal. I mean, everybody worked together and it worked out good, so.
No hidden baseball cards or gold
We
bars.
do.
No, I think we got a screwdriver and an extension cord, and there wasn't very much, let's put it that way.
Okay, moving on, grant administrator, we heard anything from Lisa?
No.
Okay. Okay,
Jason is wanting
Yeah, he
to
did have a
talk
couple
to you about
things.
some of the reports that we attached to your package. You know, the inside the water tower needs to be painted because the inspection was done and all this rust around it will need to be repainted. He's going to get bids, and I mean, it doesn't have to be done like right away, like it had to be done by 2022.
They usually come out every 2 years and inspect it, so we usually see them in the spring when it's warm enough to climb, but after that, any maintenance that needs done will go out for bids. We don't automatically give it to the company that has the cleaning, so.
And,
All in all, it looked pretty good though.
Oh, it needs some work. I mean, it's got some holes in the roof, you know, I mean, which is to be expected for 100 years, got pinholes in it. And some pits and stuff, and the guy was out from the state last week, and he strongly suggested it was time to coat it, which we felt the same way, you know, it hasn't been done in quite some time, but he also had a couple other things, and one of them, I'm not gonna blow this out of whack because I'll probably screw it up, and I don't wanna feed you something that I don't know that's true, but one of the things, there was two things, and one of them was,
valve
the valve,
exercising.
exercising of the valves once a year, every valve in town.
Right.
And the other one was
Emergency
emergency compensation plan, or
Yes.
emergency
limits.
water plan in case we'd have to shut everything down. So
Right.
those were the two things he was a stickler on. There's approximately 168 valves in town, anywhere from 4-inch to 10-inch. Some of them have been turned in many, many years. There is a tool designed to do that, to help. You don't want to get on the end of a handle and do it all day long, believe me. And we've been looking into it. We don't want to bring you anything until we kind of got an idea of something that will work, that won't cost an arm and a leg, but something that we could use from now on. And there's always a possibility that somebody, KRWA or somebody like that may have one that they'll rent. So anyway, we're looking into it. We haven't got very far because Alan's only been gone a few days, so.
I wonder if they'll all turn. I wonder if they'll all
Some
turn.
of them are turned or spun off, I will tell you for sure.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah, this deal we're looking at is hydraulic. It will turn slow and it will feel the tension on it. It won't let you go to the point that you break them, but yeah, it's gonna be it would probably take two guys. I would venture to say if you didn't have any trouble, you could spend all summer. Two guys could spend all summer doing nothing but turning valves, just to get them open and shut. You know, I think their idea behind it is, and AWWA and some of these other big water promoters are promoting this, and they're gonna make it a state law now, but you know, it's so that when you do have a repair that needs done, you can isolate it, you don't contaminate the whole system, you know? And I see their point, and it's probably been too long now, but it's also something that can cause you way more grief than what you had before, so we'll let Jason finish that when he gets back, so anyway.
This conservation plan, did this, Jason drafted this, or is this?
I sat down with John Steele from Kansas Rural Water 3 years ago when we did that. That's the last time it's been done.
Okay.
So it needs to be updated and some other stuff, so, yeah.
Yeah, with first to metering and stuff, our metering's all changed.
It's all done, yeah. Yeah, a lot of this stuff's been done since then, so.
Did you
Yeah.
get a chance to look at the ordinance that he
I did, there's a
attached?
couple blanks that I guess council needs to decide on if they're gonna
Right,
adopt it tonight.
yeah. Did you guys have a chance to?
I
look
would
at it?
like to have more time, I'll be honest.
Okay.
I was, I don't know about everybody else, but I'd like to study it some more.
It's really fees and fines and stuff for the most part. It's the council, or the city's name needs to be added, but if I could make a recommendation, I'd just say a fee of $100 shall be paid. Or, I'm sorry, reconnection fee. We have a separate ordinance for reconnection fee.
Right, because right now the reconnection fee for both electric and water, like the first time's $25 and then go up to 50, 75, and then it stays at 100. For 1 year, like after a year, it's, reset, and then if you get shut off and then it start over. As far as the violation,
Yeah, I mean, I can go back. I would just propose, and I can, when you guys are ready to adopt it, have that added in, just fees and fines and reconnection stuff, just in line with what you have in other stuff. The reconnection fee would be for a violation, in this instance, of the ordinance, so if somebody's wasting water in their car when it's a drought and they're not supposed to, then they would have their water potentially shut off, have to pay a reconnection fee.
Okay, council, you need to have more time on this?
Yeah, that's definitely my
Okay.
vote.
Why don't we go ahead and put that
Suggestion.
on old business?
Yeah, maybe he'll be back for the next one, he can explain it to you a little bit more.
Yeah, there's quite a bit in there. I just myself didn't get through all of it. So. Okay. Anything else regarding that, Jeff?
I think that's it.
Okay. All right, moving on to Police Chief, Chief Adams.
Only thing I got is just brief the council and let them know. We spent Sunday, pretty much got the evidence room done upstairs. Turned over about, probably over 200 destruction orders to the county attorney, since all of that was from 10 years old and older, because all those cases would have went through district court, just to make sure that they don't have anything sitting in there that they don't have, that they're needing me to keep. So hopefully we'll have those signed in the next week or two, and we can get that done. But me and Tori got everything done up there, and everything organized and cleaned and straightened up. So that's all I got. We did find some, we have some more missing money. We did find some more bags ripped open and shoved in places. So and other evidence missing, but hopefully we're all done with that. So everything should be secured now, and I think we have the proper process to get everything logged in and accounted for and always kept. So we should be fine now.
Okay, good. Anybody have any questions for Chief?
Still on track for Glenn?
Yes, sir. Still waiting to hear. Probably going to be the third week.
That new hire?
Well, we're gonna change his name to Jedediah just because I thought that was a really cool name. But no, yeah, he'll. Well, hopefully the third or fourth week we'll be headed down there to go get him. So
Of March.
Of March, yes.
Any other questions?
But I will say, Vaco did get a good one last night. We did get another one, so that's number 7 in town. So that's pretty good. So, but Vaco found that one last night, so it was good.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
All right. Okay, moving on. Fire Chief, Chief Sanders.
I don't have anything.
All right, anybody got anything for Michael? Okay, moving on. City Administrator.
The city-county meeting, John and I have been talking, and the way that she wanted to do it is not gonna work.
And I talked to her. She called me. She was at a
Okay.
funeral in Lawrence or something.
Okay.
And my suggestion to her was that we do it the 17th, which is after Jamie gets back, but is also your council meeting night. My suggestion is that we do it earlier, so that if it's a busy night anyways, we're not here till 10 o'clock at night. But what we would do is on the 3rd, we would actually, instead of adjourning that meeting, we would recess to reconvene at 6 o'clock or whenever for the city county meeting. And then we would, after the city county meeting, we would adjourn that meeting and then have our regular meeting starting at 7 o'clock. That way you're not talking about having to schedule a special meeting or anything of that nature. The only thing Carolyn wants on the agenda would be, and I need to kind of tool this a little bit, but it would be a discussion related to joint efforts in economic development or something like that. So if there's something else that you would want on the agenda, I told her I would get back with her tomorrow, and then she's gonna run that agenda idea by the county, and that way everybody's, because they're gonna have to adjourn or recess their meeting to come into the special, or into the city county meeting too. So everybody just needs to be kind of on the same page, so we're not running foul of the Open Meetings Act.
Council, you have anything to add to that meeting? Anything you'd like to talk about that night? Anything that you could suggest?
I think there'll be plenty to talk about with what they already want to
Yeah, that's
discuss.
for sure.
Is 6 o'clock okay? That was just the time I threw out, but she was under the impression that they thought maybe they would come and sit in on our meeting during the regularly scheduled time, so after 7, but no way in telling what that agenda's gonna look like at this point, I guess. You could just keep things off of that agenda and push it into April, and we'd have more time to do it after 7 o'clock. You guys historically run pretty late for council meetings.
Right.
Surely we can discuss it with the county in an hour.
Well, I guess it depends on if you got a bunch of citizens there, though.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
So you're saying,
I would almost feel
Probably
better
longer.
having a special meeting. And not
You don't-
do it-
you-
and
now,
not do it on a
You
council
you don't
meeting.
call it a special meeting, you just do it some other time, and you just recess then your council meeting on March 3rd, and then go into, back into council meeting on the 15th.
But why does it have to be like on a council night?
It doesn't have to be on
It
the council,
doesn't.
that was their
I
suggestion.
would just do it on a separate.
And I have not visited with Carolyn about what those dates would look like, but, yeah, I mean,
Because
7
I would
o'clock
rather
any other
not-
night.
I would rather not rush through this dealing with the county, and then have to be here for another 4 hours taking care of city business. I
Yeah.
would much rather do it on 2 separate nights.
Yeah, and then you had the issue about meeting there and then having to come back here for
Right.
council meeting.
You know, and if it takes 3 hours there, and we start at 6, it's 9 o'clock, and if we got a 2.5 hour council meeting, I don't wanna be here.
Well, can we look at some dates and I can just propose something to her?
Yeah. That's not the next, that's 2 meetings from now.
That would be 2 meetings from now. I mean, we
There's a
could,
calendar for you.
Monday's the
Do
16th.
it can we just do it Monday, the 16th?
I'm fine with it. I'll make it work.
Yeah, that's what yeah, that's right.
7 o'clock, same time.
Yeah.
And I told her I would just kind of coordinate, 'cause it sounds like she's having to coordinate on the county side, so that everybody's on the same page, so that, because you're both gonna have separate meetings, separate open meetings, because you both would have quorum. And so there's gonna have to be some odd, Jamie's gonna have to take minutes, their clerk's gonna have to take minutes, that's just how it's gonna have to happen. I mean, that's, unless you don't meet as a quorum. Okay, I'll propose the 16th. 10 o'clock.
You'll email us and let us know.
Yeah,
So I mean,
How are we
does
gonna-
the previous Monday work as well, like in case that date doesn't work for commission?
if it works for you guys, I can propose the 9th too,
Yeah.
9 or 16.
Yeah, that would be
I
fine.
I
Either
really
or.
don't care, just as long as,
We need to publicize that.
I
don't know
think it
how,
does. I
what,
mean, I
but it
think we
needs to
need
be
to be able to have
publicized.
the citizens there for some input from them.
Right.
We can send it with a newsletter with the bill, utility bills.
Yeah.
That and put it on the Facebook page.
Yeah.
My-
And the
my only
television
s-
station will cover it.
And that's fine, my only suggestion about that is you guys have never coordinated anything with them. And if all the time is dedicated to
Right.
hearing from citizens, you're gonna get off topic real quick.
Yeah. And not a lot accomplished.
And not a lot accomplished. And I'm not trying to,
But I think they ought to be there for the initial discussion, maybe not, and then they
We
can
can limit their
they
time.
can voice input at the end or something, or if
That's
they have
fine.
questions.
you can just add, public comment, just like you do here.
And just limit it to 3 minutes.
Public comment at the end of it after we do discussion, get their
Yeah.
input.
Yeah.
Because
It's
it's not like,
important. They need to be a part of it.
it's not like
important.
we'll make a decision that night.
Right.
Right.
We
No,
just
you
need to
actually
listen to
can't
what they
make
have
any
to say.
decisions.
so.
So, that's what I'm saying, it's not like we're gonna make a decision, so when we get their input after discussion.
I think it'd be good if Carolyn did a newsletter that was very informative, that answered a lot of people's questions,
Well, that
that
would
wouldn't
help
have to
too.
be here. I mean, I'd like to ask Carolyn to do the
Well, she
newsletter,
did just something like that administrative report,
Yeah.
to have it
like a
there to hand
report.
out
just very,
at night.
And she did say
Informative.
she's working on gathering some kind of statistical information. I guess they've got I forget what those interns are called,
AmeriCorps people.
AmeriCorps person.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right, good. Anything else? Okay, moving on to John.
I was doing some research, and my secretaries are doing some research on your electric and plumbing codes this afternoon, and your plumbing codes specifically refer to other ordinances passed by the city of McPherson. So whenever it was done in 1991, or it was updated in 2005 or something, somebody cut and pasted a bunch of stuff into the city ordinance and it was adopted. So we need to probably change that. I did not go much further, but there are some other instances in your building code ordinances where it says, please see, and parentheses are the words date. Somebody was supposed to put in the date and then some other language, and it was just cut and paste from some kind of form. So,
I guess maybe we need to straighten that out, is what you're saying?
a little bit.
I guess that.
That is a little bit above my pay grade, because I don't handle that kind of stuff very often, which is why I've never seen it before, so I will probably have to visit with Jeff at some point. And maybe while we're doing it, you guys need to adopt, the version you have adopted is like the 2014 residential building codes. I'm certain that those have probably, new versions have been put in place since then.
Yeah.
Probably happens
So
anyway.
some of them still base them off of the old electrical codes, and plumbing codes, for whatever reason.
That's all I have.
Okay, anybody have any further questions?
Oh.
for,
If you guys want me to research the turkey issue, I can. I mean, I was trying to be nice that I personally think it's a pest control, but if you want me to look into hunting laws, my partner's an avid hunter, turkey hunter, bow.
Don't waste your
No.
time.
Okay.
Alan's gonna,
Take care.
we can figure, we're gonna turn Vaca loose and we'll be.
That's just, I've got a golden retriever.
Michael.
Catch a turkey, strap some dope to it, turn Vaca loose.
Like you're thinking.
What about the marijuana
Oh,
ordinance?
yeah. Okay, so
Is that under you?
I suppose that would be under me.
I believe it's under John.
There is, and Chief has looked this over, the marijuana and drug paraphernalia ordinance. This would prohibit possession of first and second now, I suppose, is misdemeanor.
Yes, first time, second
Just
one's
first time?
automatic felony.
Okay. Possession of marijuana the first time, and then drug paraphernalia is really anything that you can imagine that can be used for selling, packaging, using, distributing drugs. So anything from scales, labels, to syringes, to sometimes they keep a book of their sales. That kind of thing would fall under the definition of paraphernalia. And it would also include stuff used to manufacture drugs.
I mean, it looked okay to you?
No, I drafted it. I prepared it and ran it by it.
You're happy with
Alan, you're
it?
happy with it?
Yeah, I'm happy with it, yeah. I think it covers things really well, and especially with the fee for getting it tested, because we don't have to test it if somebody comes in and pleads, but if they plead not guilty, or not guilty, then we do have to send it off and get it tested. So I like that we have in there that cost then gets incurred into the fine on a guilty charge. So,
What's the number of that?
She's getting us an ordinance number.
We can adopt this tonight.
That's ready to go.
Do we have to, do we have to publish after 30 days before it?
No, it would take effect on publication.
Okay,
So whenever can next publish it.
okay.
Carburetor smoking pipes.
Yeah.
1069-20.
1069-20. I'd make a motion to approve ordinance number 1069-20.
Second.
Yeah, motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Okay. Anything else?
Mayor, I have one more thing.
Sure.
Too, I'd like to see. And I don't know, I guess I need to research, but I guess if I could ask council to start thinking, and John too, I don't know. If we don't have an ordinance, I would like to see us adopt an ordinance. And I think it needs to be in conjunction with EMS, fire, and police for emergency services on house numbers. And I think we need to tackle that. We have a problem in the city with house numbers being either A, not even there, or where we can find them. It's vital, it's important that we have those, and people don't have them up. I mean, we'll search the front of houses and there's nothing. I'll do some digging. It just came into my mind again because I meant to bring it up earlier, but I'll need to look. I don't think we have an ordinance on house numbers, but I would like us to see us adopt one so that we can enforce it and have that done for emergency service. And even city crew. I mean, city crew gets called to a water leak or something like that, or a main, they know right where they're going.
Yeah,
It's just,
Jamie and I talked about that a
I
couple
think
weeks
there ought to be
ago.
a minimum size on the numbers too, where you can see.
Not on the
it,
curb.
you know.
that curve is a mess. People park in front of it, the grass gets overgrown over the front of it, you can't see it at night, anything like that. I think an ordinance that it has to contrast to the house so that we can see, just the wording and the verbiage in there that we can do it. And then I think that it should be a joint thing between both, I guess maybe city crew and emergency services on those people that can't get them something, that we do something, but we've got to do something. I know where I'm going if you tell me it's somebody's old house, but when you give me an address, I struggle getting there. And I've talked to firemen who've been here, and they're used to people's names of going to a house, but not an address. So when dispatch gives an address, we're lost. And and especially at nighttime, for us officers working nights, it would be good to have. But just something if you guys will think about it, I know we need to look into it, and I would like to see us do something with that as a city to get that done too.
What about like mailbox? Would that be?
Well, not every mailbox is on the street. I
I
don't
thought that was
believe, well, see, like Tori's mailbox is clear down. Hers is way down, half a block down the street.
oh, okay.
Is
Sometimes
where-
they're across the road, sometimes you're joint
Right.
with
Yeah, so that's why I'm kind of thinking that's,
Mine's across the street.
that what it is?
yeah.
Sorry.
So I think that's the only problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, there ought to be a minimum size involved too.
Yeah, I mean, a minimum size where they're located, at least to where they can be seen, so.
No, I don't.
You can ask Pam how many meter mistakes we have because of the wrong address. And if we don't stop and read the numbers on the meter, and we think it's this house here, but it's not. Depends on the block, they're all different,
So-
It'd be wonderful.
Just something that I just wanted to bring up. I just thought about it, but it's an important thing for the city, I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Not wrong. All right, anything else? Moving on to old business. Anybody have any questions or comments regarding old business?
What center?
He's working on it, he's got all the carpet ripped out. I haven't been over there to see what else he got done to it.
I did see somebody had a picture posted of the new carpet that's kind of out in the,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen it when I went over there today with students. It looks really nice.
I stopped by last week, it looked like he had the carpet ripped out of the main area, just on the
Right.
floor.
Mhm.
And he came back, must have been over the weekend or something, but went in there today and all the carpet was laid in the main area, on the floor.
yeah.
Nothing else, but,
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's working in there, I guess.
Yeah, but what's laid down does look good, so.
I guess maybe touch base with him on timeline?
Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, let's see, wanna move into land bank?
We got new business.
New business, oh, excuse me. What's that? Okay, we have dirt road south of First Street.
I had this put on there I've been in contact with Ohio Township. And I mainly done it because they raised my property taxes 110%, because I'm in Ohio Township on the south side of First Street. And so if you live on the south side of First Street, you pay 110% more this year than you did last year. And we get nothing from it as far as them maintaining anything in the city. And so I had talked to them about them maintaining our dirt roads on the south side of First Street, and that's how they're taxing the citizens of St. John. And we get nothing from them. They had a meeting the 1st of this month, and they all felt that it was rightfully so that they would maintain the dirt road south of First Street. One thing they wanted was they kind of wanted their road grader guy to kind of have free will at maintaining them, and you know, if a ditch needs dug, he's going to dig a ditch. If it needs built up, he's going to build up the road or whatever. They'd like for a couple of us to attend their next meeting to tell them how the city feels, what we would expect out of them. I don't know, John, do we need a contract with them?
No, I mean, if falls within, is it within the city limits?
Yeah, it would be the the streets, the dirt roads south of First Street in the city limits, but
Yeah.
it's in Ohio Township as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's overlapping jurisdiction. No, that would need to be kind of.
I mean, I guess it's up to you guys. What do you think about their maintainer taking care of the roads? I mean, they keep all their equipment in St. John. We're paying for their stuff, and the citizens on the south side of First Street, not just myself, but all of them, are paying 110% higher tax rate on the south side of First Street.
Does that mean material too, or are we gonna have to supply material?
They did ask about supplying material if we needed some rock on some roads or something like that, and I said it would have to be something that would have to be approved by council or
And I didn't
someone in the city.
And they could contribute too. It's a good issue that I imagine most of the people don't even understand. That they're
If you
doing.
don't
I
pay
do
attention to
understand
your
it because
property
I'm paying
taxes and you
attention.
just pay them, you don't understand, but I
I bet you
understand
those two guys and me and you do living south of First Street.
living south of First Street, having a business,
You too.
Yeah, that's right.
110% increase in a year is a lot of money.
The mill.
The mill levy went from 3.2 on the citizens of St.
I
John
thought you were waiting.
to like 6.5.
And north of First Street in St. John Township, the mill levy is.
It's down to just over a half a mil.
12
If you live north of
12
First Street,
times.
it's just a little over half a mil. And it actually dropped from the year before. It was at like 0.7, and it's now down to just over half a mil.
They can buy some material, and we can buy some material. But that's not
I think it's a good thing. I mean, it'll kind of free up our guys from having to maintain them roads. And their grader sits right down there by the elevator, so he drives our dirt roads leaving town every day. So I don't know if there's a couple people that want to attend and, you know, kind of talk to them about it, get their feelings, and
Yeah, I'd say two, you live south of First Street.
I don't have an issue going. I'm gonna go to the
I'll be
meeting
glad to
anyway.
He stops
Because
and turns around right at the corner. He's at Ross's house.
I'll go
Right back
because
south.
I'm the one that brought it up, but my
That's fine.
thing was, it didn't really pertain to the city. It was me personally that started the deal because I wanted something for the money I was paying out of Ohio Township. And they took it upon themselves to discuss it and said that they would maintain the dirt roads if they could come to some type of agreement and the council was okay with it. You know, I think it's just one less headache that our city crew has to worry about,
Wonderful.
and some of the citizens get something out of the taxes they're paying for.
I think it's only fair.
So,
Okay.
Is there any rule if a certain amount of us go, John, that it's a quorum,
Yeah.
less than
we can only
less than
Yeah.
3 or more than 2 or
We should do
what?
only
Two
two.
would be the
Two?
max.
Yeah. Okay. Any other discussion on that? Okay, recess into land bank. So with that being said, a recess this council meeting, move into land bank.
Open the land bank meeting. First thing, 206 South Pearl, Kyle Bunker bought that house, had it tore down, and wants to donate it to the land bank, the property. So I guess I need to know where you guys sit on that, if you're willing to accept that property into the land bank.
What was the address again?
206 South Pearl.
I don't have a problem with that.
House is cleared?
Blank lot.
You bought that at sheriff's sale?
Mhm.
Okay.
And I guess that would also require John to do the paperwork on it.
If he bought it at sheriff's sale, all I need is a copy of the sheriff's deed. Everything kind of resets with me.
Can't wait to unload that.
Sign right here.
So I guess if you guys are all in favor of it, someone needs to make a motion to accept
We got,
it.
we got to make a motion to amend the land bank agenda to
To accept,
accept 206 South.
yeah.
Okay, so move.
Second.
You got a motion and a second to amend the agenda to add accepting the property at 206 South Pearl. All in favor? All opposed? One abstains. Okay, now, is there a motion to
Conflict
accept it?
with not your wife has signed this?
I don't know. Why would my wife sign it?
She notarized the signatures.
No. Well, I'd have never known it if you wouldn't have said anything. But I don't vote anyway, do I?
Yeah, you remember.
It don't matter, there's
No,
still.
I
Yeah,
just,
there's more than
Okay,
that.
so do I have a motion to accept that property?
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Second. All in favor? All opposed? One abstains. And then we need a 10-minute executive session to discuss preliminary property acquisition, is that right?
Yep.
To include
Acquisition of real property.
acquisition of real property. Just council, or everybody but Pam at the table. How about that?
So moved.
Got a motion, second? All in favor? All opposed? Motion carries. We will resume at 7:40, 7:58. Call land bank meeting back to order. I guess if there's no other discussion, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Got a motion? Second?
Yeah.
All in favor? All opposed? Motion carried. Meeting's adjourned.
Call this regular meeting of council back in order. Let's see, we have a 5-minute executive session. Attorney-client, non-elected personnel under John. Can I get a motion?
Who's it?
To include Pam and I guess Jeff.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah, motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We'll resume at 8:05.
You have to have a check-in when we're done.
It's not gonna happen, dude.
Call this meeting back to order.
Ain't gonna happen.
Okay, next we have a 10-minute executive session or non-elected personnel under police department. Yeah. Chief,
You get paid by the hour.
Probably go 30 minutes.
They'll 10-minute increments.
Chief,
Pick up
you
the
want
chairs and shut
everyone
out
at
the
the table?
lights.
Everybody at the table, yeah.
Okay, all right.
So moved.
Okay. We have a motion, do we have a second?
Pick
Second.
up the chairs.
Yeah, motion and a second. All in favor?
No, you gotta stay tuned.
Motion carries. We'll resume at 8:16.
Nothing to do with you.
Well, I don't know.
I'm hungry.
Go ahead.
Call this meeting back to order.
I'd make a motion to go back into executive session for another 5 minutes for non-elected personnel. Same people.
Second. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We'll resume at 8:22.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Call this meeting back to order.
No, we'll just do it.
No.
I'd make a motion to allow Alan to hire Dustin Milton for $16 an hour for the police department with the expectation of moving here within 60 days.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, chief,
Thank you.
you got it. Okay, having no more business.
Oh, hold on. I wanted to amend the agenda to add another 15-minute executive session to discuss possible hire,
Non-elected personnel.
non-elected personnel.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries.
That's everybody at the table.
Yeah. Okay, we'll resume at,
We may not need 15, but
what is that, 38.
what time we come back to?
Call this meeting back to order.
I'd make a motion to return to executive session for another 7 minutes for non-elected personnel, potential hire, same people.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. We'll resume at 8:45.
I ain't going to smoke, I'm going to make a phone call.
All right, call this meeting back to order. We will recess for 5 minutes and we will resume at 8:50.
That'd be 6.
Okay,
South staff.
call this meeting back to order.
Unless you want to go back in executive session and reach consensus. No, you just make a motion.
I would make a motion to hire Alan Moore at $17 an hour with a review of his pay after 60 days probation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Motion carries. Okay, any more business? Okay, having no more business, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Motion carries.
You got the radio on?
Yeah.